we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Junior Sports Podcast. I am your host, Richie. Yo, my guy, Mr. Idris Salah. A couple of minutes ago, we had a video issue, aka Gary Coleman. Yeah, man, I believe Idris was playing. I really did. I told my son,
Dude,
hey, check this out. I think you put out some voiceover things or messing around.
man, look, I gotta call my doctor, man, later on. I mean, tomorrow. I was wondering why. I don't mean to take away from the show. I was wondering why when I was talking to her, she had a little grin on her face the whole time. And I'm like, okay, she seems happy. Now I see why she was trying not to laugh. Man, look here.
Yeah, honestly, if we would have went that route off the jump and not even just spoken anything, it probably would have been just as good. On today's show,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be hitting on the rush hour rundown, the events of yesterday in and around the NFL. Philadelphia Eagles game of the week, no question, big win in Baltimore over the Ravens. And truthfully, I think the Eagles just took the big step towards putting their names among the elite now. And when I consider that Detroit has a gauntlet coming up, Eagles may very well have the clearest path to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I have to agree, man. I mean, they're better than I thought. I didn't think they would be as good as they are because of the start of the year they were winning, but they weren't winning. But it's like they just win, man. Not spectacularly, but like Al Davis said, just win, baby, and that's what they're doing, man. So, are you there?
I actually am here.
Okay. I thought you froze up on me for a minute.
I'm
Yeah, I
going to
mean,
use my phone because I was getting a bad feedback. This isn't my computer. This is Noah's.
oh, okay. Now you're fine over here.
Yeah, so I'm just actually going to come in
Yeah,
through the phone after all.
Oh yeah, I think they're better than I thought. I really didn't expect them to be. I guess they're persevering, man. Oh, we got feedback.
I'm trying to lose.
They're persevering.
Lose the second window here.
Oh, you're good. Well, I'll just talk to you. Get it? Yeah, they're persevering, and that's the main thing. As long as you win, it doesn't matter how you win. You win by 1, you win by 100. A win is a win. I think Saquon Barkley. That's why I got my Saquon jersey on. Hoodie on. I'm not gonna say forgiving him because he had to do what he had to do. But I've gotten over my hurt that he's gone. I was accepted that he was gone. He's no longer part of us. But watching his success, I was like, damn, he's getting down. But I couldn't. I didn't feel bad for him. I wanted him to succeed.
Yeah, Saquon. What more can you say? This is MVP territory as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so Philly's doing what they're doing. I think they still have a few flaws because they're not putting teams away. I think the defense is being opportunistic, and I think they're keeping them in the game and keeping it tight because the offense outside of Saquon, the offense is, my opinion, just average. That's just my opinion. They're getting it done, but I think the offense is average. But with Saquon, they go from average to dangerous, man. So
yeah, if you look at the way they played last year and seeing how Saquon has essentially completed that offense,
mm-hmm.
I'll be honest. I looked at the remaining schedule. I don't think they're going to lose another game.
Probably not, man. They got Dallas again. They got us again. They got Washington again. I think they can be all three of us. I really do. They have everything you need. Dallas can't really stop the run. And even against us, Tyrone Tracy had a decent day. And that's what Saquon does, is run. Dallas's DBs are not that. I mean, they're good, but they're not like they used to be with Dan Quinn. So I don't see him losing. You know what our team is about. So that's going to be a win. Washington will be a little bit tougher the second time around, I believe. But I think Philly can still beat them. And the rest of the way, I mean, they could run the rest of the table until they get to the playoff.
The mask, points and more in the building.
Yo.
Yeah, Q, just kind of going over yesterday's games, man. Chargers looking very much like a wild card, but a strong wild card. And I got a feeling this second time around against KC, they're going to be able to impose their will in a bigger way. They're a much better team than when they played the first time.
Yeah. With KC, I think the Chargers can. They might.
We might be having a little feedback issue with Idris. So I'll bring him back. Yeah, I have a little feedback issue with Idris. So I'll keep going until Idris joins. All right. So he's back. You good, bro?
Yeah.
Okay. Continue. Kind of cut.
Oh no, you good. I think with the Chargers, and like I said, I didn't really have them making the playoffs. I still think they're a year away. They're winning, but I'm not impressed with them yet. Not just yet. I think they're just a year away. This is Harbaugh trying to get his thing together. J.K. Dobbins in there. They might make it to the playoffs, but I think they'll just miss. I think they'll just miss because KC got KC up there. Denver's making a push for wild card. The Central. I mean the North, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. I'm pretty sure those two may make it. Now in the East, just Buffalo. I mean they might make it, man, but it's gonna be tough, man. I think they'll get that. If they do make it, I think they'll get that final spot.
Daniel Nunez. KC, I swear they are the luckiest mofos right now. Yeah, there's no question about it.
Mm-hmm.
And another week and another dubious call in the Chiefs' favor. I'll be honest, I saw that replay a couple of times. Not as egregious as the non-call in the Atlanta game or some of the non-calls earlier in the season against Cincy. But the Chiefs do not look like a team that's going to push it to another level. No. I'll tell you the truth. I said it on the post today, Idris. The Ravens are good, but not good enough after what I saw yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills right now look like two legitimate threats to play in championship weekend in the NFC, AFC rather.
Mm-hmm.
NFC, I kind of like, as much as it pains me to say it, Philly and Detroit. And I think Philly's going to be representing the 1 seed with Detroit's schedule getting a lot tougher. I think both teams are in good position to get that 1 seed.
And Detroit's they have a lot of injuries on defense, man. They're starting to get banged up, and that defense. I mean, Jared Goff, gives and what they can do their thing. St. Brown, but they're going to need that defense, and that's for Pittsburgh. I didn't think they were going to score 40 points yesterday.
So they're definitely shut up yesterday. And you know that the Bengals have had their share of struggles.
Yeah.
But it's a shame. Joe Burrow is an MVP candidate any other season.
Yeah.
Daniel Nunez coming in again. Got the Packers beating the Lions on Thursday. I actually like that this week. it will be interesting to see what kind of contribution Jamal Adams makes to the line.
Mm-hmm.
See what he has left in the tank, help out that back end of their defense. But right now, I think there's 3 teams in the NFC, and then there's everybody else. The Packers would be the third, right behind Detroit and Philly. Detroit's my 1, Philly's my 2 right now. But based on the schedule, I do not see Detroit holding off Philly for best record. They have a much tougher schedule.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna sleep on Minnesota, man. Sam Darnold got them playing, man. You got that offense moving, man. That defense, Brian Flores, man. I mean, don't sleep on him. I mean,
in a lot of people's minds, the guy the Giants should have hired.
Yeah, I think I thought Green Bay would do better this year, but Justin Fields is making too many mistakes, man. Like I said, his turnovers, and we said this on previous shows, his interceptions are not. It's not interceptions where it's a bad read or just an accidental overthrow, or his interceptions are like real bad interceptions, turnovers.
Gordon Love against the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
John Olsen was in LA for that one. That was a bad one.
Yeah.
We saw it even back to the title game last year against the Niners. The reason I have the high faith for Green Bay this year, Josh Jacobs is very overlooked at how effective and efficient he's been this season. Josh Jacobs is having an awesome year. Xavier McKinney playing as good as any safety in the league right now.
Man.
And they don't really have like that clear-cut number 1. But only there's receivers that are competing in different ways. And, one thing about this organization, they always get it right in the quarterback position.
Yeah.
But no, Love has to cut down on the bad turnovers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can see them going into this week winning it. Yesterday, that Buffalo game, Mike Zimmer was all over it with the negligence of the 49ers playing Christian McCaffrey. And the Madden lives on again.
Hey, I wasn't gonna say this, and people don't take this personal when I say this. I'm saying this tongue in cheek. Remember last year when Kittle scored a touchdown, he put up the shirt.
I do remember that.
And they went on that 3-game losing streak.
Yeah.
With Bosa doing the MAGA thing, they've been losing since then.
Yeah, I noticed that. Whenever they kind of bust out their own merch, they tend to go in the tank.
And and 49ers fans, and I'm not making this political. I mean it as a joke. That's why I mentioned the Kittle thing. But it's the same thing. They start winning. Look what happens. But I think with this season, I don't think they'll recover like last season. So last season, they just went on a bad run. CMC was hurt a little bit. They had that one run where Kittle pulled up the shirt. They lost like 3 in a row. This season, even Bosa's hurting. CMC is a wrap. We just seen, what's name is out for the season. Ayuk is out. And they're hurting this year.
After getting paid in a big way. I mean, the season has completely erupted by injuries for the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
And, the trend could very well continue where a first-time Super Bowl appearance on the losing end quarterback doesn't get back. Burrow hasn't been back.
Mm-hmm.
Look at your losers, first-time losers. This has been a trend going all the way back. I think the last guy to do it, you got to go Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Last guy to lose the Super Bowl in his first appearance and go back. He goes back 3 more times.
Mm-hmm.
But we have not seen anyone go back after losing the first one.
Yep.
And it's not a good stat. If I'm on the winning end of losing the Super Bowl and I'm getting back, I'm going to be concerned about getting back.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the first time, Jimmy Garoppolo didn't get back. Brock Purdy didn't get back, but he was just last season.
Yeah. It's gonna be something, man. It's gonna be something. They got a lot of work, but getting back to the ones who are actually contending, and it's not just towards the Niners. Um, it's I looked at the schedule with Detroit, and like I said, we were saying about Philly, and then the Packers and all, and even the Vikings. Philly has the easiest path. They have the easiest path. And if they play at home, they probably walk to this next Super Bowl again. Um, yeah, Detroit, they got the Packers, but they got the Packers at home. Then they go to Buffalo. No, they play at home with Buffalo.
Yeah,
They
Buffalo's
should,
home.
yeah, they should beat the Bears. They should beat the Niners. They should beat the Niners, but you never know what's going to happen. Then they close up with the Vikings, which they got the Vikings at home. Vikings are tough, man. They're tough. They're balanced on both sides.
Have been
On the, mhm,
a team that I keep waiting for them to fall.
mhm,
I thought everyone had them overcome a two-score deficit to get the win.
mhm.
And Sam Darnold's playing for that next team trip. We've spoken
Yeah.
often about our team, the New York Football Giants, in need of a
Mhm,
quarterback, but is the proper value to go out and draft one of these kids.
yeah.
If they want to wait to round 2 or 3 to get that quarterback, goes without saying that you have two of the best corners in recent memory in the NFL, and you
Mhm,
have bridge quarterbacks available. Sam Darnold will be available. Jameis Winston will be available.
mhm,
And dare I say, Aaron Rodgers will be available.
mhm,
The Rodgers one, I would say proceed with caution, but given the fact that things went so bad with the Jets, it could be an added motivation. Plus, coming back to the conference where he can play the Packers as soon as next year. Something to think about because I've said it on the show, the Vikings are in an interesting position because Daniel Jones gives you a little bit of extra time next year to allow J.J. McCarthy to not be rushed out.
mhm.
Paying Darnold, I don't see that. If they had intentions of keeping Darnold, they don't go out and keep Jones.
Yeah.
Now, Jones will be, to my understanding, a free agent next year, but I believe he stays with Minnesota.
I think so too. I think so too. And just like we said this before the season about J.J. McCarthy. We're saying how he would fit in our system like Daniel Jones would. I think Daniel Jones would fit in that system up in Minnesota. Um, I just feel, and like I said, like as me and you spoke about, I'm not taking nothing off of Daniel Jones because he had his issues. He didn't see the field well. Da 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 da. So we have to leave with that. That's we already know that. But I've been saying I have to put a lot on coaching too because I think they just gave up on him. I said that early in the season because, and I'm not switching it to the Giants, but I'm gonna talk about the Vikings. I think they gave up on him because I've been saying since I don't know the third week of the season. I said, why is it the first half of this games we're running the ball, that's throwing the ball 8 times, and we're running sporadically, but in the second half we're throwing 30 passes. But I was telling some of our goofy Giants fans that look at the stats. In the first half, we're not even throwing the ball. But in the second half, we're throwing 30 passes. And that's where our points are coming from. And I'm like, and to tell him to go home and we're going to pay you at home. That's the type of stuff me and you spoke about. They do to players who are hardheads. Antonio Brown. Who else? Who else we talked about?
We talked about Randy Moss, but some of his discipline.
Yeah, you send players home with pay. You pay people to stay home because there are problems in the locker room. But from what we've seen, the players supported Daniel Jones. Like, like neighbors. Like, look, the problem goes beyond him. And I'm like, now going to Minnesota, it's a whole Minnesota hasn't won a championship. We know that. They compete here and there, but that's an organization, man, who you don't hear nonsense coming out.
They're tied with the Bills with 4 Super Bowl losses. The Vikings too lost 4 different Super Bowls They should have been in one going back to '98. One of the greatest teams in the history of the league.
Yeah, they went 15-1 that season, or 14-2, one of them. But you see,
He'll
you
give us
never
an
hear
insight here.
you never hear anything dysfunctional coming out of there. You don't hear about the owners. You don't hear you don't hear that. To where over the past how many years, ever since Hofman's been gone, it's been drama with our ownership and our management.
And truthfully, this decision is eerily similar
Mhm.
to what the Denver Broncos did last year with
Exactly. Yeah.
This was completely financial because
Mhm.
hindsight's always going to be 2020.
Always.
If you go back to the end of the 21 season, if the new regime, the previous, the current regime,
Mhm.
puts that fifth year on James, a lot of this stuff is avoided. And while Saquon, in my opinion, took the best deal that anybody was willing to give him,
Mhm.
he did turn down a decent deal in 22. But it was more than the deal. It was more than the guaranteed money. Saquon Barkley was tired of losing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's not.
And I'm not going to lie and tell you that I wasn't aggravated in the beginning.
Mhm.
At this point, the way I see it is they properly replaced him with Tyrone Tracy. I do think the Giants will behoove them to draft another running back in this coming year because this is a weird time where you have the Cowboys and Giants at the bottom. It's been quite some time since both of them were 3 and 4 respectively. The Commanders, new ownership, fourth team schedule, potential offensive rookie of the year candidate Jim Daniels.
Mhm.
Dan Quinn has changed the culture there rather quickly.
Mhm.
And Howie Roseman has done phenomenal by the Philadelphia Eagles and constantly manipulated the salary cap to keep their guys relevant year in and year out. Arthur Blanks plays the Falcons, a tough one, to the Chargers. And now there's whispers that Michael Penix might be and Kirk Cousins will be entering free agents.
Mhm.
They're going to, or rather, looking to move Kirk Cousins after giving him that deal. Kirk Cousins has always been a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But I've never trusted him to be a guy that can get to that next big game, get to that next level.
Yeah, I think with Kirk Cousins, I like to have him in New York because he's a smart quarterback, good quarterback, great locker room guy. All that stuff. He checks those boxes. The only fear I would have with him, he's not that type of quarterback like Daniel Jones who can get off and run. That's the only thing. He's not that type of guy where he can
And
run an
he's
RPO.
also kind of voiced that at this juncture of his career, he doesn't necessarily want to be a Giant because he wants to be on a team that's closer to winning the championship.
Yeah.
The caveat with Rodgers, when you look at the rosters that are looking to start a new young quarterback straight out of college, like the Raiders per se, let's just say the Raiders.
Yeah.
Jacksonville's going to stick it out with Lawrence for now, I believe. But it's really weird that it could be the Giants are known for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the rosters around the league, the Giants might be the only ones that make any true sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Pittsburgh, but after what Russell Wilson's been doing, I don't think that they're looking to move on from him.
Nah. Russ. Oh man, he's come back. He's come back, and the great thing about Pittsburgh and Russ is they're not paying him nothing basically.
It's similar to what the Vikings are going to be dealing with Jones.
Yeah,
that was another award bringing him in.
Yeah, Denver's paying Russell Wilson to be a Super Bowl quarterback. What else? And with Daniel Jones, and people say, "Oh, you won't leave Daniel." No, I sincerely like Daniel Jones, but I just felt, his time in New York was over. That was it. I like him, I really do, and I wish he would have worked out because I really liked him. And I'm rooting for him in Minnesota.
But it's a broken culture right now for the G-Men. Similar
yeah.
You have two broken cultures sharing MetLife Stadium right now.
Ain't that something?
But from a television standpoint, if the Giants play their cards right, they
Mhm.
could turn this around rather quickly.
Mhm.
Dallas Cowboys are another team, Super Bowl aspirations. Huge disappointment. Jerry with the all-in talk. You see where that ended.
Yeah.
And even the Ravens.
So what?
Harbaugh a great coach, but if I'm a Ravens fan, I'm starting to question, what are we doing wrong here? We know we can't beat the Steelers. That's been proven time and time again. But you go back to last year, AFC title game. They flat out played, just like the Niners did in the bowl.
Mhm.
They just flat out coach. So that was on
Yeah.
full display at both Kansas City's games last year on their way to the Super Bowl. The Buffalo as well. They got a coach. And any other season, they didn't have the resume, but Sajay coming in,
Mhm.
I don't necessarily believe that they would be getting hyped up to win. But because of the fact that they have the hardware, they have the resume, people could kind of overlook some of the ups and down metrics that don't make sense how this team only has one loss. They are negative in the COVID for the year. That's a hard thing to overcome and have the record they have.
Yeah.
The defense has been sensational. The combination of Steve Spagnuolo and then it has really been something. When I look at the AFC, despite Jacob losing 2 of their last 3, I still think they pose a bigger threat to going to the Super Bowl than the Chiefs. I think the Steelers, given their defense and the fact that Russell Wilson is not going to lose you a game.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen, which kind of opens up a conversation about MVP talk, very much so. A candidate. It's traditionally been a quarterback award. If Saquon Barkley breaks the NFL rushing record, which single season, which is definitely on the table right now, he's on pace to do that. Exactly happened against the Giants.
Yeah.
I think it would be really hard to not give Saquon the nod this year.
Yeah. I think, I had posted on my wall about the MVP. I think he should win it. If he does what he does, I mean, I always say it's a quarterback award, but that's how they do. They love to give it to the quarterback. But I feel at this point of the season, I think he's just as deserving as Josh Allen, Jared Goff, or whoever else is out there.
I think Allen is the most deserving of the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But it's a fair award for either one because I genuinely don't think, maybe outside of Patrick Mahomes, that any one particular player is more important to their respective teams this year, especially, than Josh Allen and Saquon Barkley. And, Barkley is looking like his 2018 self.
Yeah.
Peace of mind, he got paid, he's balling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Different year, Joe Burrow would be a candidate.
Yeah.
Because of just a horrendous season they're having.
Mm-hmm.
But how about the big cat Leonard Williams yesterday? Interception against one of his former teams, the New York Jets, the team that drafted him number 6 overall.
In the stadium that he once played in.
That was beautiful. And to pick off Aaron Rodgers of all people.
Yeah. Yeah. When we traded Leonard Williams, I didn't like it, man. I was like, but I understood why. But I hated they broke up Leonard Williams and Dexy. I just love that combination. But yeah, to see him come back to New York and get a pick 6, well, and take it all the way back, it's like I loved it. I really did. I was like, go. And when he scored, I was like, hell yeah.
I just couldn't believe it. I was like, somebody get that man some oxygen. And this is a division where it truly seems like nobody actually wants to win it.
Nobody wants
Talking
to
about the West. Yeah. You've got the Seahawks who are still hanging around. Yeah. Arizona Cardinals, in my opinion, the best of the bunch at this juncture of the year.
Yep.
49ers, you get to rise with all the injuries. They are finished this year.
Yeah.
And then you got a Rams team that also has shown inconsistencies, but they
Yeah.
did win a tough game in a tough game against the Saints team who is playing better football. But I'll say this: if Green Bay wins on Thursday against the Lions, as Mr. Nunez suggested, that's a division, the North, that's going to be very hard to figure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, it's crazy, man. It seems like every year or every other year we always have that division who has that division winner who you say, okay, there's another deserving team with a
Yes,
winning record that should
and for years it was the South in the NFC.
Mhm.
Tom Brady's final year, they won 8-9.
Yeah.
They roasted his ass about that. They
That
said you
division
lost
did it twice.
to them, you go 8-9.
Yeah, they did it twice. Remember Carolina some years ago, they went to the playoffs what 79 or 6-10 or
Pandemic season, the Washington Commanders. It was still the football team at the time.
yeah,
7-9, beating
something
out
like that.
because
Mhm.
we had a breakdown about what was going on there. The point is,
Yeah.
Doug Peterson got fired
Mhm.
because of, or there was other reasons too, but
And the beast mode year when Seattle went what
7-9.
7-9. Yeah.
You had 8-8 San Diego and 8 beating 12-4 Indianapolis. That
Uh-huh.
same season, 11-5 New England, led by Matt Castle and Randy Moss, because Brady tore his
Got hurt.
knee
Yeah.
first game of the year. When have you ever heard of an 11-5 team? That was a few times in league history that's ever happened. You know, while we're on the topic of Randy Moss, I didn't see the footage, but I understand that he's acknowledging that he is going through a serious health situation. And some viewers kind of noticed it because of very yellow eyes.
Yeah.
But I think I speak for everyone here without question that we wish Randy Moss the absolute best moving forward. Just a freak athlete. I mean, he, in my opinion, to this day, has the most impressive turkey day that I ever witnessed as a rookie against the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh yeah. That was glorious. That was glorious.
The greatest wide receiver, in my opinion, not Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
Randy Moss is next. And then you can start debating about the two largest Terrell Owens.
Mhm.
Many deserving guys. One person you think Sterling Sharp, if he didn't get injured, would have been at the top of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're praying for you, Randy, and we hope all turns out well. Very young guys, only 47 years old. And you know, in my opinion, the spearhead of what was the greatest offense of all time in the 2007 New England Patriots. You know, their records, some metrics were broken, but they, in my opinion, because of the undefeated record going into the ball, greatest offense of all time still in my eyes. I see a post on one of my friend's socials, Ebers, and Amber posted this, but I want to see if this is true. Did we lose Wendy Williams today?
You said what happened?
I understand Wendy Williams.
Wendy Williams.
Wendy Williams.
But no, I hadn't heard anything.
I'm gonna check it out because I don't know. I know that she's taking a turn for the worse health-wise, but from the way the post, it was literally before we went live. So I'm looking for to confirm that before anything else.
Now you said what happened? You said nothing again?
Wendy Williams.
Nah, nothing's wrong with her.
She's good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to figure out what that post was about later. But what else are you playing, man? I know there's a particular player in Philadelphia that you've been lobbying for to possibly get on the show in the not so distant future.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to make that happen. You really want to have a seat with them and kind of say that, you know, we're not happy, but it's forgiven.
Yeah. The Whitney Williams, they said her family denies that she's incapacitated.
I see.
Yeah.
Because I clearly don't believe everything I hear via social media or the internet, but I'm always curious.
Yeah.
Because I also know when X was in bad
Mhm.
shape, the family denied a few minutes, so I was curious. But yeah, tell me, I know that just such a big voice
Mhm.
for so many years, and living in New York during the heyday, I'm very familiar with Williams, whether controversy or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're seeing this is a 5 day long report now on the family, not entirely true.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah. I
fighting
knew.
Jake Paul next?
You know what?
You coming out of retirement to fight Jake Paul?
Am I doing what?
You're gonna come out of retirement to fight Jake Paul?
Huh? Hmm. Hmm. We'll see.
I mean, you only got a couple of years on Mike.
I know.
I see you started tackling.
I wanna. You know what? I want to fight Clarissa Shields because she wants to fight a man so badly. I mean, look, I'm 60 years old. I'll box you. I want to box her. So anyone who's close to Clarissa Shields, tell her here's a 60-year-old man who's willing to fight her. But don't be putting no stipulations in the contract saying, okay, he can't do this and he can't do that and he can't punch here and he can't do that. We're gonna wear 16-ounce gloves. No, we're gonna wear the official
If you want
gloves. And
stipulations, then take the Paul fight.
yeah, no, I don't want no
You're
stipulations.
gonna
I
put
want to knock it out.
the ring's gonna look the size of what the WWE just ran on their most pay-per-view.
Right. Now I want Clarissa Shields. I know a lot of people, women, gonna say, oh, "You just want to beat on a woman." No, she wants to fight a man. So I
Yeah,
was an amateur. My
it's a weird
record's
hate.
31-5. Let's get it on.
Yeah, it's a weird hate that he's been on for a while. Since,
Yeah,
gaining prominence in boxing, but these these novelty fights got to stop. If people wants to mess with these novelty fights, he has to fight.
mm-hmm.
Everybody gets the payout, and that's
He
why
said,
Mike is biting his gloves a little more
yeah,
frequently than we're used to seeing. Because we did speak about this with Brett. But yeah, that
I don't want to touch on the Clarissa Shields thing too much, but uh, she's so salty, and you know her fanboys. Who it look? I'm gonna just keep it 100, man, because I don't want to sugarcoat it, and I don't want to get on my Stephen A. Smith soapbox. But black people, you need to stop it. And I'm saying that because you have these guys who don't watch the sport. It's just like with Angel Reese. They don't really watch the sport. They just follow it. And I'm like, look, y'all, I know she's black and all that. We got to support our sister, but let's not be delusional, okay? Clarissa Shields is a superb fighter, one of the greatest of all time. But let's keep it 100. She got a big mouth, and y'all need to stop co-signing her big mouth because she's arrogant. She has no respect for anyone in the boxing game because she's already disrespected Layla Ali and all those who paved the way for her. But this is who y'all support. Again, she's a phenomenal boxer. But to call her the GOAT because she said, okay, she's the undisputed champion, da 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 da. She got all these gold medals in the Olympics, which, to be honest with you, I'd never heard about her until she went pro and won a title. So I didn't know anything about her. So I don't know. But still, she is not a greater fighter than Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano has championships in 7 weight class. She moved up 3 divisions to fight that chick, Katie Taylor. And in everyone's eyes, she won that fight. That would have been 8 classes she's won world titles in. Girl's like 48-3, 47-3. She's also been an MMA champion. That's the GOAT right there. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from Layla Ali, but Layla Ali was a beast when she boxed. She didn't fight as long as Amanda Serrano, but she fought longer than Clarissa Shields. She didn't win all the titles Clarissa Shields won, but because she fought in the heavier division. And back then, the women's boxing wasn't as huge. You know, you had a smaller weight, then you had a middleweight, then you had a heavy. We didn't have many divisions, but the sport grew. But Amanda Serrano, I've been watching her for, I don't know, 10 years, maybe longer. The girl's a Stone Cold beast. Stone Cold beast, should I say. And it goes back to Angel Reese. And I'm addressing my people on this because my people act like we don't need to be held accountable by anyone. So I'm going to hold us accountable. It's like with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Stop throwing the race card around. It ain't got nothing to do with race. Caitlin Clark was a superior player. And no, Angel Reese did not make Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark ain't Angel Reese because if you follow basketball, women's basketball, which a lot of you, like 80% of you people who run your mouth don't and didn't. If you remember, Caitlin Clark, all that whole season was doing this to people. You heard nothing about Angel Reese until they played against each other. That's when it was like, oh, Angel Reese. But see, it was also Flau'jae and a few others that was balling out. And when you get to the pros, Caitlin Clark showed out. She started slow. But in the end, she led all rookies in scoring. She led all rookies in assists. She led as a guard. She had more steals and more blocks than Angel Reese. Angel Reese shot the worst inside of 5 feet of the basket. The worst under 5 feet from the basket. And this is not to knock the girl. Okay, yes, she got all the rebounds. Great. But I'm one of those who agrees too that she was getting her own rebounds because her mechanics of anyone who watches basketball, who play back, and call me whatever you want, but I was touting Angel Reese before y'all even said anything. I was touting Angel Reese back in Maryland, so I don't want to hear nothing. Oh, you hate? No, I was watching the games. Y'all wasn't. But when I was posting Angel Reese on my wall in women's college basketball, even in WNBA, those who supported now were laughing. So I don't want to hear your mouth. Shut your face. Anyway, still, if you look at the girls' mechanics, she'll shoot right-hand three-point shots or jumpers, but shoot it off her left foot. So basically, she's shooting cross body. And it's vice versa. If she shoots left-handed, she shoots off her right foot, which is being cross body. You don't shoot a layup off your right foot, or should I say shooting off your left foot. You got to, push out. I mean, off the right foot, you got to push it out. And even under the basket, if you look at it, who throws up underhand follow-ups under the basket? Not layups, follow-ups. You get a rebound, then you throw it up. That's what you do with alley-oops. But that's what the girl does. And this is not hating on her. Her mechanics are screwed, are trash. Someone needs to sit her down and say, hey, we need to work on your mechanics. Yes, you are a rebounder, great rebounder, but you are a piss-poor shooter. You are Andre Drummond. You're not Dennis Rodman. She's Andre Drummond, not Rodman. But Rodman, not only did he get the rebounds, Rodman got the assists. Rodman got the block shots. He did all that garbage work. He didn't have to score. Because people don't realize when Rodman came out of college, Rodman was averaging like 20-something points a game. But in Detroit, they said, look, we don't need you to score. We need you to play defense and get rebounds. And even in Detroit, he averaged like 10 points. And that's because getting rebounds, kicking out, getting boom, boom, bam, bam. They take it to the hoop. But Reese is not Rodman. Rodman did a whole lot more. Reese does not have the assists. He didn't even block a shooting guard a point guard in Caitlin Clark. So kill that noise that she was the rookie of the year. She did nothing to show she's the rookie of the year. They just said, hey, she just got rebound. That was it. She didn't get any block shots. She didn't get any steals. Her shooting percentage for a person under the board, she was shooting 28% from the field, and she plays inside the paint. 28%, or to 27%, something like that. She moved it up to like 32%. You don't shoot 32% from inside the paint. I don't know a dominant big man or 4. I don't know anyone who played in the paint who shot 32% from the field in the paint. Those are high percentage shots, and she's making less than a third of her shots inside. So I don't want to hear the nonsense from the people about that. Now, and I don't mean to take up the show, but I got to do this. Let's talk football again. Let's talk draft.
Now, one final thing I want to hit on before we hit the draft.
My bad. I didn't know you came back on.
Now, Brett told me the sound. I'm using my son's computer.
Yeah.
And my headphones aren't a fit for that computer, so I was having an issue with the sound in there, and I think I was coming off a little choppy. So thank you, Brett, for letting me know that.
When you get back to the show, because I didn't know you were there.
No, it's all good. You were in the middle of a tangent, and you were spitting some facts. I wanted to add to that. Loser mentality that I feel the WNBA has put out is that when you get someone who is bringing eyes, bigger venues, things of that nature to your sport, and you're still hating because you might be a mediocre goal driver, so to speak, someone who's not as driven, as gifted, or as talented as Caitlin Clark. I tend to believe that it's really just a bad look. And then people wonder why a lot of people haven't taken this league all that seriously, and to your point, I think you nailed pretty much all of it. Let's talk some draft.
Yeah, with the draft, and I'm directing this to my Giants fans, Giants family. Quarterbacks, and I know why, and I'm only going to speak on the black people, and I don't make it a race thing, but I'm only speaking because this is all I hear from. We always want to draft the black quarterback. Now, I love to see a black quarterback succeed. Don't get me wrong. If we had a black quarterback, the Giants would succeed. I think because I want us to make it. However, we always picking the black quarterback without even evaluating the black quarterback that we're going to pick, because it goes back to the Angel Reese thing and go back to the what's the name thing. Same thing. I'm like, look, let's take off the glasses, man. Like, I hear a lot of our fans saying they want Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. Now, you got Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, you got Carson Beck, you got Quentin Ewers. Who else you got out there?
You've got Nussmeier out of LSU.
Nussmeier, yeah. Oh man, I don't know. And when I was trying to explain these guys, I said, what NFL quarterback played 1 year college and wound up even being a very good quarterback? Not great, but I said, name one. They played one season in college. And I told everyone, I said, look, they can go back to Todd Marinovich, who was drafted by the Raiders. Flamed out. He played 1 year at USC. Flamed out. And recently, Mark Sanchez. Rich Trubisky. He's another one. Trey Lance. He's another one. The jury's still out on Justin Fields.
It's been proven time and time again.
You need more than 1 year college.
That the 1 year starter very rarely has the fluidity at the next level. And, I don't have anything against Cam Ward, so to speak, but do the Giants really want to get another ACC quarterback? I would be intrigued with Shedeur for a litany of reasons, but my thing is this. Hypothetically, right now we're picking third. That can change week to week until the year's out, because I do not see the Giants winning another game this year. In the event that the Giants are picking first, it would be awfully hard to not entertain trading back to get a fat package.
Wait. You think we're not going to be Philly in Philly?
Absolutely not.
No, I'm joking, man.
We haven't won a game there since 2013. But I personally believe if I'm the Giants, if Travis Hunter's on the board, that is a really hard thing to ignore.
You have to grab, because you got a two-way player right there.
And do you really want to deal with all that comes with catering to every want, need, and desire of Shedeur? Because while I do have a lot of admiration for his dad, and while I do think he may very well be a successful quarterback in this league, do I feel that these quarterbacks are going as high in a different season? I'm going to say no, bro. I'm going to say no, because last year's class was stronger. I'm not saying hold out and wait for Arch. I'm not saying don't draft a quarterback in this draft.
Look, I'm not too keen on Arch right now, because for what I've seen in Arch, holding out would be like another year, but he has a lot of work, man.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with that. I think the best thing for the Giants to do in the immediate future is to shore up the offensive line. I felt the offensive line showed promise this year before the injuries to Illuminor and before him, Thomas. Thomas is an all-pro when healthy. Yeah. But with 2 consecutive years of being injured, the Giants have to start thinking about, do you trust him the way you did 2-3 years ago? That's something to think about as well.
Right.
But it goes without saying they need a quarterback. But could a bridge quarterback, while also drafting somebody, be the answer? And if I'm the Giants, I'm strongly considering a Jameis Winston or a Sam Darnold. And I'm not saying I'm salivating over the idea of having Aaron Rodgers, but nobody's going to tell me that Aaron Rodgers doesn't make Malik Neighbors better.
Yeah, and like me and you spoke offline when you said about Devontae Adams on the other side. He's going to see one thing about Rodgers, and he may not be that quarterback he once was back in Green Bay, but the one thing about him, his throws, he's thrown some interceptions this year, but the thing about it is he's doing something that Daniel Jones didn't do. He sees the receivers. He sees them.
And listen, I long supported Jones. And I've been proven wrong on how high Jones can go. But one thing I will say is this. Jones is gone.
Yep.
And the offense with DeVito looked even worse.
Yeah.
And when Locke was in there, he looked comfortable, but the play calling was still suspect.
That's why I keep telling our fans, look, it's like one guy even told me it's not the coaching. I said, it's not the coaching. Are you serious? And then when we let Daniel Jones go home, and then we had these past 2 weeks, I said, okay, Daniel Jones went home. Now we see what? Worse than what we saw. So you're going to tell me it's not the coaching?
Brett, I got to correct you on this one, buddy. I'm seeing Brett's comment. Lamar Jackson is the more improved, better Michael Vick. Josh Allen is a superior version of Ben Roethlisberger, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A superior version of a Cam Newton.
Yeah.
If Cam and Roethlisberger had a baby with all their good attributes, that's Josh Allen, in my opinion.
Yeah. Because I think with comparing him to Big Ben, I think Josh is more mobile than
Josh
Big Ben.
Josh's touchdown ratio just with his legs alone is pretty staggering.
Dude, you're insane with that, man. And
Cam Newton needs to shut his mouth about the gold jacket talk with Eli Manning.
See, he forgot Eli went twice.
I think he also forgot that Eli was more known for throwing the ball. That is kind of important when you're a quarterback.
And Eli stepped up in the big games.
Yeah. Eli didn't look at Von Miller take a football while being afraid of making contact in the biggest game of his life.
No, Eli would take a hit. I don't care if the record is 3-13. Eli's going to take a hit. Eli
always took the hits. Look no further than the NFC title game of 2012 in Santa Clara against the 49ers.
Eli's going to take a hit. And he's going to get up. Eli didn't miss plays.
Yeah. So some of the guys like Cam, who I've always respected, guy like Warren Sapp, they just come off as grumpy and not comfortable with their legacy, and it's very disappointing to see. Or even guys like Shady McCoy throwing shade at Jim Kelly. It's disappointing. It's disappointing. Very, very disappointing. We saw it with Scottie Pippen taking shots at Mike.
You know what, Richie? With Jim Kelly, true, he didn't win a Super Bowl. But the way he ran that offense in Buffalo, that K-gun, he changed the game. You can't stop Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly, not to mention what he did in his personal struggles, losing a child.
Yeah, and having
cancer numerous times.
Yes.
And from a professional level, after one of the more heartbreaking Super Bowl losses in any and all times, losing to the Giants 20-19, in a game where most people revisiting do feel that the Bills were the much better team, to take that adversity and come back 3 more times.
Yeah.
I think it says a lot about the guys in that locker room, despite the fact that they never won one. And that's why for a lot of Buffalo fans or NFL fans, they would love to see the Bills finally get over the hump. Brett suggested Lions and Bills in the Super Bowl. I believe it's going to be either Pittsburgh or Buffalo representing the AFC. I wouldn't completely count out Baltimore, but I don't trust Lamar in the big games. And I don't think the Chiefs are as good as everybody thinks they are. NFC, I think it's 3 teams: Green Bay, Philly, and Detroit.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I agree with the AFC. I think with the NFC, I'm going to go Detroit, Philly. Here's a long shot for you. I'm going to go Minnesota.
Well, Minnesota. So,
Of course, Minnesota and Detroit got to play each other, so that's going to cancel one of them out anyway.
Yeah, Detroit did win the first matchup, and Minnesota won the first matchup against Green Bay. The one thing Green Bay has working against them is they have those 2 divisional losses. But what Green Bay has working for them is you can make a case that they really are that good of a road team.
They are.
Because in the Matt LaFleur era, they have been a better road team, even going back to the McCarthy era.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they went on that magical Super Bowl run of 2010, they did it all away from Lambeau. They've had many Lambeau failures. You know, if John Olsen was here, he would tell you the mystique is gone.
It is. It is. It really is. Because it used to be when you go on Lambeau, you know you're going to lose.
No, for sure. Any final thoughts, Idris, before we get out of here?
No. The touch on what you were saying about the players throwing shade. That's what we have in this period of society, is where these newer players. It's just people want to throw shade at those who have achieved. You can't take nothing away from Jim Kelly. He didn't win the Super Bowl, but the guy revolutionized the game. Him
and when even in the basketball realm, when I saw LaMelo Ball put up his top 5 and not include Irvin Magic Johnson, I about jumped out of the building on that.
It's like one of the top 2 or 3 point guards of all.
You can make an argument that Magic Johnson is the 2nd greatest basketball player of all time. I think on most people's metrics, it's Mike. I would put Magic over LeBron.
Yeah, I would too.
In some metrics, I would put Bird over LeBron still, because it's not just about the numbers.
It's about the leadership. It's about all those other qualities that help you win.
Many, yeah. And, you know, the centers are some of the hardest to grade.
Yeah.
Because while Shaq is probably the most dominant I've ever seen in my lifetime, it was short-lived. And whereas Jabbar did it for a longer time. So, you know, it's always a great debate. And that's why I love doing, from time to time, these NBA shows. Before I get out of here, I do want to make mention, we were talking about cooking up ranking gangster movies. We did it with the sports movies. I want to get the whole crew on for that one. Try to get Shed in here, Brett, of course, Zappy. But until next time, I am Richie. My apologies for the audio blips. I will get that figured for our next show. Thank you, Brett, for making me aware of that. So I actually stepped out on my den and just busted out the cell phone. But for Idris, I am Richie. Have a great rest of your Monday. And
Browns will be on the next show, y'all.
Browns a lot of punting tonight. Give me the Broncos 30. Give me the Browns 6. And give me a pillow, because I'll fall asleep on that game.
30-14, Denver.
We out.
And